Alright guys, today we're going to dive into the top 7 mistakes I see new players making all the time. If you want to watch a video, I go through a lot of visual examples. I'm going to try and make it as easy as possible if you can only listen to it. And I've done a write-up as well if you prefer to read. So let's jump right in and take a look, see if you can learn something new. Let's go. Okay, the number one mistake most new players make, guys, is the mulligan. Mulligan is very complicated, but we can actually try and tailor our mulligan to fit our opponent's game plan. So what we need to do when we get in game is not just do what most people do and look at our cards and just toss out the high cost ones and we keep maybe 1, 2, 3 and try to get a nice curve. That can be good, especially if you're playing something like Bannerman, but if you think about it a little more, then you're going to have much more success. So we're going to look at what our opponent is playing. They're playing Z. So let's assume they're playing Kinku Elusives. Now we want to think about what matches up well into Kinku Elusives. Well, the Ruthless Raider I don't like a lot because it dies to Zed's quick attack and they're probably not going to block into this, so it's not going to get much work done in this matchup. The Monkey Idol's a bit slow, and Warning Shot, I don't have any other combo pieces. Now the Hired Gun, I really do like this in this matchup, guys. It will grant them vulnerable, especially if you can grant Zed or one of the elusives vulnerable. It's going to net you some really good results. So we're going to toss all 3 of these and look for some cards that will be a little better in this matchup. So now we get the Jagged Butcher, guys. We're attacking on 1 and we even have the Warning Shot as well. So that's how you're going to be thinking about the mulligan, guys. Try and tailor it to your opponent's game plan. Alright, let's run through another example, guys. So this time we are playing deep and we look at our opponent. We see they're playing Noxus Shadow Isles, which is most likely spiders since they're playing Elise. And we want to look at our mulligan and think, man, what is really going to help us against their deck? So we probably don't want Maokai or Shipwreck Hoarder. And even though you might think the Dead Bloom can be good against the spider aggro, it's just a little too slow. We'd much prefer to see cards like Withering Wail, Vile Feast, or even Grasp of the Undying. So I'm actually going to toss all of this, guys, and look for my big AoE cards that can help deal with this spider deck. So we get a Drake Dredges, a Vile Feast, and a Thorny Toad, all very good cards, and the Jaw Hunters as well. So we're feeling really happy about that mulligan, guys. So that's how you have to think about these mulligans. You don't just want to be keeping your low cost cards, you want to be thinking about what cards can I get that will actually help me win this game. Okay, the second big mistake a lot of new players make, guys, is not using this pass button here. The pass button is super powerful. For instance, here I'm playing deep, and I have it's my attack. It's turn 2. I could just drop the Thorny Toad. I know he's playing a spider deck, and I'm feeling like that's going to be a pretty strong move. But because he's playing spiders, we know he wants to up the pace of this game, and more than likely he wants to play something. So we can just pass. And we see he drops the house spider. So now we get to play with full information. Now we can either, okay, perhaps we do want to drop the Thorny Toad, or we want to do the Vile Feast. Now we actually have the option and we can make a choice. So I'm still going to drop the Thorny Toad, but by using that pass we actually got to play with more information than we would have if we just dropped the Toad. So that's how you can use passing, guys. Alright, another way we can use passing, guys, I'm going to use this deep deck again because Jaw Hunters is such a great example of this. If we have the attack token and we have a challenger minion like this Jaw Hunters, we can simply, and we know they want to play fast, they're playing the aggressive deck, this guy's playing spiders, we can simply pass it to them, and he wants to drop his big power card in Elise. Now we can just drop our Jaw Hunters, and we still have the attack, guys. We can challenge and we can take this Elise off the board. That's a really powerful way. This happens all the time, guys. Like, I do this in Diamond. People will play into that play all the time, and it's just super powerful. So don't underestimate passing, guys, and get creative with it. Think of ways you can use it. Okay, guys, this is another classic mistake that new players make, is overextending on the board. So for this example, I'm playing Bannerman. We are up against a Shadow Isles deck, and you know, it's a bit later in the game. We're up to turn 7 now, so we have to be aware that he could cast Ruination and just completely wipe our board. So what we want to try and do, guys, is apply a decent amount of pressure whilst minimizing our risk. So what we can do is, see, we have all these high cost cards here and a couple of low ones. We don't want to go too wide and just vomit out our entire hand and leave ourselves really open for a ruination. What we want to do is just try and apply a modest amount of pressure. So I'm just going to drop the Genevieve here. I have 2 other 6 drops in my hand, so this isn't such of a big deal if it dies. And now guys, we're applying a really nice amount of pressure. We can attack into him. I'm just going to use a scout attack. Now, once this attack goes off guys, if he wanted to ruinate, then we're only losing these 4 minions, and we have plenty of mana, plenty of resources left in our hand to actually fill up our board again, and we're not overextending and not put all our resources on the board just to get wiped out. So that's a little way you can not overextend on the board. You want to apply a decent amount of pressure whilst minimizing your risk as much. Guys, number 4 is not accounting for champion stack gains when they level up. Look at this situation we've got here. We can see that the enemy Thresh is on 5 out of 6. So most champions when they level up, they're going to gain 1-1 in stats. So I might think, nice, I've got this single combat here and I can take out this 4-3 and I can allow myself to get a really nice trade. I can take some value trades along here. So we do this, we block. Now this spell's going to go off. He's actually killed that with a drain, and because his Thresh now hit his level up condition, now our 3-3 doesn't even take it out. So we always have to be wary of how close are our champions, our enemy champions to their level up condition. Just check it at the start of every round guys, you can take a look. And I see new players doing this a lot with Swain, especially because people can level him up at fast speed with Noxie and Fervor. And Sejuani as well guys, a warning shot can often level her up at burst speed, so you just have to be aware, make sure you're trying to play around that as best as you can. Another big mistake I see newer players doing guys is not spreading out your buffs. So I'm playing Kinko Elusives for this example. So we are attacking with all our elusive units and we have the ability to buff them up. Now guys, we want to try and spread these buffs around so that we don't cause a single point of failure. So if we buff our Green Glade Duo, I'm going to buff the units with the lowest health. Okay, so we've buffed our Green Glade Duo and we have this Twin Disciplines ready to go. Now we don't need to put this Twin Disciplines right on this Green Glade Duo. It might seem smart to have one minion really strong and swing and hit them, but if we diversify our buffs, so we're going to make this guy a 5-2. So now if he has an answer for this, like he has Will of Ionia, then this is still going to go through and get in our extra 3 damage. So guys, this is just a little way you can help diversify your resources and spread out your buffs amongst your cards. Obviously guys, the situations where this doesn't apply, especially if you're going for lethal with something like overwhelm damage, or maybe you're trying to level up your Vi, so you got to get a bit creative with it, but just think about ways you can diversify your resources and not cause a single point of failure on your board. Okay guys, the last mistake I see so many people doing is looking at this guys. Looking at this defeat screen and feeling like your deck sucks, or you're doing something wrong. Guys, this is a card game. You're not going to win every single game, and what you need to be doing is be focusing on your gameplay, not the results you get from your gameplay. So guys, I promise this will help you climb so much if you think about what you are doing wrong in the game, what you could be doing better, and just focusing on the gameplay and on your play. That's going to net you much better results than looking at the win or loss screen. The best thing about that guys, if you focus on the gameplay, then the results just come naturally. So focus on what you're doing in game. Don't worry about the win-loss. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Yes, you want to climb ranks, but if you focus on getting better, playing the game to the best of your ability, the ranks will come naturally, guys. Okay, guys, that's it. That's my 7 mistakes I see new players making all the time. Guys, if you liked the video, please like. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, please subscribe. If you want to jump into my stream and ask me any questions at all, I answer every single question. you can check the description box below. I'll put my stream link in there. Guys, I hope you learned something and I hope this helps you climb up some ranks in your games. Have a great day, guys.